Section 1.11, The Evolution of Juvenile Justice. Before the 19th century, juvenile justice systems as we understand them today did not exist. Societies handled juvenile offenders in ways vastly different from contemporary practices, influenced by local customs, norms, and economic conditions. In early societies, families and communities bore the responsibility of managing juvenile offenders. The focus was often on corrective actions, such as community service or apprenticeships, aiming to teach proper behavior and reform rather than punish. This approach reflected the belief that young people were malleable and could be guided toward a better path. However, these informal systems varied greatly across communities, and at times, punishments could be harsh and arbitrary, lacking structured oversight. The late 18th and early 19th centuries marked a turning point in how societies viewed children and crime. The Enlightenment, emphasizing reason, individual rights, and the inherent value of individuals, inspired reformers to recognize that children differed from adults in development and capacity for reform. This led to calls for a system that addressed the unique needs and rehabilitation potential of juvenile offenders, avoiding the harshness of adult prisons. This era saw the creation of the first institutions dedicated to juveniles, like the House of Refuge in New York City, founded in 1824. These institutions marked a shift from community-based corrective measures to more formalized systems. They were premised on the idea that with proper care, discipline, and education, young people could be reformed and reintegrated into society. The shift from informal responses to dedicated juvenile institutions laid the groundwork for the juvenile justice system as we know it. This change reflected broader societal perceptions of childhood, responsibility, and the state's role in intervening in the lives of troubled youth. In the 19th century, attitudes toward juvenile delinquency underwent significant changes. This era saw the establishment of dedicated systems and institutions focused on reforming youth offenders rather than punishing them. Two key milestones characterized this transformation: the House of Refuge movement and the establishment of the first juvenile court. The House of Refuge movement marked the birth of institutional juvenile justice systems in the United States. The first such institution, the New York House of Refuge, was established in 1825 in response to increasing youth delinquency in urban areas, particularly among poor and immigrant communities. These houses aimed to rehabilitate youth offenders through discipline, moral instruction, and education, steering them away from a life of crime. However, these institutions faced criticism for harsh conditions and punitive treatment of inmates. Despite these drawbacks, the House of Refuge movement introduced the idea that juvenile offenders should be treated differently from adults, paving the way for further reforms in juvenile justice. The first juvenile court, established in Chicago in 1899, marked a significant shift in how juvenile delinquency was approached. This court operated on principles vastly different from the adult criminal system, emphasizing individual assessment and rehabilitation over punishment. It provided a nurturing and protective environment, acknowledging the developmental differences between children and adults. The juvenile court's philosophy was that youth offenders needed guidance, education, and support rather than punishment. This concept, known as parens patriae, allowed the court to take a flexible, personalized approach to each case, aiming to rehabilitate and redirect young lives. These developments in the late 19th and early 20th centuries represented a significant shift from earlier approaches to juvenile delinquency. By emphasizing rehabilitation and recognizing the need to treat young offenders differently from adults, the House of Refuge movement and the establishment of the juvenile court system laid the foundation for modern juvenile justice practices. Thank you for watching this video on the evolution of juvenile justice. We've explored how societies have evolved in their treatment of young offenders, moving from informal, community-based approaches to the establishment of formal institutions and juvenile courts. This script was based on the text Fundamentals of Juvenile Justice by Jennifer M. Miller and Adam J. McKee. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on criminal justice and its various facets. See you in the next video.